I'm Kath, and I thought now might be a nice time for me to offer you some mindful movement, so an exercise series that you might like to utilise during this time of isolation and restrictions for a number of different reasons. So if you're feeling a little stressed, it can be a really great stress relaxation series that you might like to do. We're all sitting a lot more as well, so you can certainly use it to break up your day, to make sure you're getting a little bit of movement in your day, reverse the curves of your spine and get that moving and a little bit activated as well. And then for the students, it's a great study break for you. So it's not super healthy to be sitting and studying all day. By doing a little bit of mindful movement in between the day, or maybe first thing in the morning or last thing at night, is a great way to stimulate the brain and just make sure the body is revitalized and ready to cope with everything that's going on at this period of time. So I hope you enjoy. If you do experience any pain or discomfort, please just leave that exercise. Have a little bit of an extra time to breathe and catch up with the next exercise. Feel free to also break this series up. So you could just do the breathing sequence, or you could just do the movement sequence. So feel free to pick and choose what feels right for you. Hopefully throughout the series, you'll be able to lie, close your eyes and breathe and feel the movement. Hopefully I'll give you enough explanation that you won't have to crane your neck and look at the screen too often. And then if you do repeat the series, hopefully that's what you'll start to experience as well, that it's a time for you to close your eyes, really absorb and stay focused on you and your body and how it moves. And by doing that, that's when we actually have that stress relief, because we've had that chance, we've had that moment to be able to forget about the stresses of the day or things that we've got going on, and it's a time for you. So I do hope you enjoy. I will cue breathing throughout because it's a way to get you focused and to use control, but really just make sure that you breathe in a way that feels comfortable for you. If you're not quite breathing with me, it's not a problem at all. So I hope you enjoy, and feel free to get in touch if by any chance you have any questions, or if you would like an extended sequence, I'd be more than happy to put something together for you. Lovely. So hopefully you've got a fairly comfortable mat, something with a bit of a give, or just maybe a few towels or blankets so that you're not lying on the hard floor. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in about 15 minutes when we sit back up. So we're lying on our back, knees are bent, feet are about hip width apart, and we're just going to lie, and we're just going to be, and we're just going to find our body. So imagine when we can go back to visiting the beach on a warm, sunny day and feel like you're lying on the sand. And while you're lying on the sand, you become really heavy and you give in to gravity, and you think about the print that your body is going to make in the sand. So the pressure that your body is going to leave and that indent. So we're going to start with your feet. So just be a little bit aware of your feet into the mat and on the floor. Try not to roll in, try not to roll out. Feel like you've got even pressure across the whole pad of your foot from left to right. And then feel like you've got your center of your heel bone gently pressing into the mat. So again, we're not rolling in, we're not rolling out. Feel free to just, get yourself in a nice comfortable position. Good, kneecaps are facing to the ceiling, knees aren't rolling out or touching in, they're just directly to the ceiling. Just rock your pelvis about, forward and back, maybe a little bit side to side, and just feel like you leave your pelvis in your most comfortable position. But feel like your pelvis is heavy and weighted. Then just be a little bit aware of the rest of your body lying on the mat. You might have a little bit of a space underneath your lower back. Your lower back's not pressed in, but it's certainly not feeling tight or too big of an arch. And then your rib cage is gently in contact with the mat, as is your upper back. And then we have a little bit of space through the back of our neck, and then our head is nice and heavy. Hands are just placed on our lower tummy. We're broad across our shoulders, elbows gently relaxed on the floor. And we're just going to start to focus in on your breathing. So you're going to breathe in through the nose And breathe out through your mouth. Keep going with that, breathing through the nose. Gently breathe out through the mouth. Good, keep going with that. How long can you make your inhale last now? So see how much you can fill your body up with air. And then gently breathe out, but make it last as long as you feel comfortable. Good, now you're going to count. Breathe in and count in your mind. How long does your breath in last? Breathe out, make it last the same amount of time. Now can you add one more count to each breath so you're building counts. So if you breathe in for 5 slow counts to fill up, breathe out for 5 slow counts to empty. Then on the next one, you'll breathe in for 6 slow counts to fill up. And then breathe out for 6 slow counts to breathe out. Great, keep going with that. So now, as you're breathing in, imagine you are a balloon, your whole torso filling up like a balloon with air, your tummy walls stretching, your rib cage stretching. And then as you breathe out, you're still a balloon, but you're gently deflating, emptying, narrowing. Good, keep that going. So as long as you're breathing in, you're feeling that expanse, you're feeling that stretch. You try and breathe into those little spaces that feel a little bit more tight. And then gently breathe out slowly. Try not to let the air rush. Be in control. Only breathe out as far as you don't feel like you get tense. Your tummy's got to keep deflating and not get hard. We've got one more. Gently breathe in. Fill yourself up. Try not to build tension. Just try and find those little extra spaces to stretch and fill air into. And gently breathe out. Emptying, emptying, feeling the waist narrow. Good, we change our breath. Keep your hands on your belly. This time we only breathe in about half the amount of air. So just a small breath in. Tummy stays fairly still. And then gently breathe out. Tummy still gently gets to sink. Try that 3 more times. Breathe in without letting tummy fill too much. And then breathe out gently. That tummy is still empty. Last one. Breathe in. Feel like now you're breathing into those back ribs, keeping tummy just a little bit more still this time. It's okay if it moves a little. And then gently breathe out. Let's do one more. Gentle breath in. Tummy stays fairly still. And breathe out. Great. So now we're moving on to a little bit of pelvic stability. So now we're just going to breathe in and open one knee out to the side. And breathe out, gently let that leg come home. So we've just got that gentle breath in now, letting tummy stay fairly still, but not tense. And then come on back home. Now the goal of this exercise is, can you keep your pelvis still as that knee opens out? And breathe out to come home. So now we breathe in to open the knee, trying to keep pelvis still. And breathe out to come home. So can you move your leg at a tempo and only as far as the pelvis stays still? And gently come home. So it's not about range of movement, it's about control. Controlling your pelvis, controlling the knee open so it gets to glide, but not pull the pelvis with it. One more each side. Breathe in to gently open the knee. Find the release in the adductor, inside thigh. Breathe out to come home. Last one. And breathe in to open. And breathe out to come home. Nice work. Just open your feet just a tiny bit so they're in line with your hip joints. Reach your 2 hands up to the ceiling. Palms are facing each other. So your hands are above your chest, in line with your breastbone. just a little bit below your shoulder joint. Now feel like you've got energy reaching your fingertips to the ceiling, but then you've also got energy of your head of your shoulder falling back into the joint. So equal and opposite forces reaching to the ceiling and falling to the floor. Great. So keeping that sense of ease now. So feel like you're holding your arms up now with the least amount of effort. Nearly feel like all your muscles have melted away and just the skeleton is placed. Think about the head of your shoulder falling and sitting right in the center of your shoulder joint. So it's not forward, it's not back, it's not up, it's not down, it's right in the center. Great, so now we're going to draw tiny little circles with our hands. So they move away and come closer. So rolling your head of your shoulder in your socket, feeling again like you're trying to centralize the head of your shoulder joint. So try and allow that ball and socket to be right in the center where you've got most freedom of movement. Keep going with that. Least amount of effort. Muscles have melted away. We're just trying to align the bones. Slowly come to a stop. Good, we circle the other way. So just rolling the head of the shoulder gently around in the joint. Still have that same reach to the ceiling and the fall of the shoulder back and into the socket. Good, all this I do with my eyes closed. So I take away my sight. So I enhance what I can feel. The head of the shoulder slowly comes to a stop, as do the hands. Hold there. And now we're going to breathe in and open our arms towards the floor out to letter T, but we don't quite touch the floor. And breathe out to come home. And breathe in to open our arms towards the floor, letter T. Breathe out to come home. Good. Could you breathe wide into the back of the ribs? And breathe out to feel like you get a little taller and longer in your waist. Breathe in to reach your arms out. Breathe out to feel like you get a little taller. Last one. Breathe in to open. Breathe out to come home. Palms turn to face your feet. Take a breath in this time. And now we're going to breathe out to gently reach two arms towards the floor overhead. And breathe in to come home. Now, can you only take your arms overhead as far as your spine doesn't change on the floor and your shoulders don't creep up by your ears? Breath in to prepare and breathe out to gently reach soft melted shoulders and breathe in to come home. You get to choose how far you go, totally up to you, just as far as you feel comfortable. But try not to quite touch the floor if you've got good shoulder range of movement. So we don't want to quite rest. Good, make this next one your last one. And gentle breath out to keep the spine still as your arms reach overhead. Breathing to come home. Arms float by your sides to the floor. And they reach out to a little V position and we turn our palms up. Opening our shoulder joint, feet come together, knees a little bit squeezed together, but not too strong, just comfortable. So now we're going to breathe in to rock our pelvis across to one side, taking our knees, and breathe out to come home. Good, a little bit of energy of your hands on the floor, breathe in to rock across to the other side, and breathe out to come home. So can you rock into one side of your pelvis, lift the other, rolling one joint at a time of your spine. Now feel like you're rolling your ribs back first, then your waist, then your pelvis. So then you go pelvis, waist, ribs, but only as far as the shoulder doesn't get pulled. And then can you roll back, ribs, waist, pelvis. Rock the pelvis takes the waist, and then the ribs, but not the shoulder, and roll back, ribs, waist. Good. can you keep your feet or your ankle bones kissing? So the feet come as one piece. That'll just give you a little bit more of a stretch and range of movement across that hip area. So take your foot with you and gently roll back. Good, we're going to rock one more time. We'll roll one joint at a time. Great, and then we keep rolling over and we end up lying on our side. Now, if you can, you're going to bend 2 knees up, 90 degrees at your hips, 90 degrees at your knees, hands gently behind your head. And then we breathe in to lift our elbow to the ceiling. We breathe out to gently, go gently, roll your head and shoulder towards the ceiling. Breathe in and breathe out to come home. And breath in to lift your elbow. Breathe out to rotate your head and your shoulders towards the ceiling, just as far as you feel comfortable. Breathe out and breathe in to lower. Good, 2 more. Breath in to lift the elbow. Breath out to take your spine around. Breath in to bring you back and come home. Or you might like just a breath in to take you all the way there if that feels more comfortable. And breath out to come home. Nice work. You can just roll to the other side. I'm just going to flip over to the other end just so I stay facing front. So then we're going to lie down. Hands come behind your head. Great. So 90 degrees at your hips, 90 degrees at your knees. You're a straight line from the back of your head to your pelvis. Good. Try breathing in to go all the way if you like, or you can use your alternate breath and breathe out to come home. And breathe in to rotate around. And breathe out to come home. 2 to go, and breathe in just as far as you feel comfortable. Good. If you keep it comfortable, your body will let you go a little further with each one. If you force it, your body will stay restricted. And come home. Nice work. From here, we're rolling onto our all fours. So we're now going to be in what we call quadruped. So our hands are directly below our shoulders, our knees are directly below our hips. We're pretty much like a coffee table, so I could lay a tray of drinks on your back and they wouldn't tip off. So we haven't got our pelvis tucked under and we haven't got ourselves hanging through. We're pushing that floor away, head's just in line. Good, shoulders are gently away from ears. Take a breath in and you're going to breathe out to gently push the floor away and round your spine. Good, and then breathe in to come back to your start that we set up. And breathe out to gently roll your spine, round your back. And breathe in to come back to straight. Good. Try to keep your arms and legs still, so you just lift your spine directly up to the ceiling. Try not to rock forward or back. And breathe in to come back to straight. We've got 2 more. If this isn't feeling comfortable on your wrists, you could go into fists, if that feels better. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Last one. And breathe out to round. Feel like you're an even curve, like Sydney Harbour Bridge, rather than it all being in your upper back. Keep moving your pelvis, round your lower back, and come back to your straight. Nice work. From here, we're going to sit down. If it's not comfortable for you sitting on the floor, then feel free that you could do this little series sitting on a stool or even sitting on a normal kitchen chair, and you would just use the side of the chair to give you a little bit of support. If this is not comfortable on your knee, you could also be in this position. I'm going to sit like this for the moment. Great. And so we're sitting up nice and tall. So feel like you're right on top of your little sit bones. Your ribs are directly on top of your pelvis, as are your shoulders and as are your head. And if you're in a worm farm, so think a pane of glass at your front at the back, you wouldn't headbutt with your head forward or back. So we're sitting up nice and straight and feeling like we're elevated nice and tall. Great. From here, hands just go behind your head, elbows a little forward, shoulders soft. Take a breath in. Breathe out to rotate around just as far as you feel comfortable. Breathe in to come home. And breathe out to rotate around. And breathe in to come home. Good, the breath out, you can feel the waist gently narrow to support as you rotate around. Breath in to come home. Breath out. Good, feel like it's your rib cage taking your arms rather than your arms taking your ribs. Last one. And breathe out to gently rotate around. And come on home. Good, arms open out onto the mat, or if you're on a chair, you would just have one hand pressing in. So now we're just going to rock across. This arm lifts, this elbow relaxes, shoulders relax as we go into a little side bend. Come back up and lift ourselves up, a bit like an aeroplane. And we tip, reach our hands a little bit and reach on over. Great, we tip and come on up. If you're on a chair, you could still lift this arm up, support your hand to reach on over. Lift on up and come home. So if you're on a chair, just pressing in, lift the arm and over you go. Good, we'll do last one with an aeroplane. We tip like an aeroplane, creep your fingers just gently, soften the elbow, reach the arm over, soft shoulders, back to letter T and tip tall and tip, creep the fingers a little bit, soften the elbow, gently reach over, trying to stay in your worm farm, still not rocking forward and back, and come on back up. Hands come back behind your head, elbows a little forward, and think about your breastbone right now. So now we're going to breathe in and see if you can sweep your breastbone up the wall and then up towards the ceiling for a little upper back extension, and then sweeping back down. And breathe in, sweep your breastbone up the wall and towards the ceiling and sweeping back down. Good, so feel like you carry your elbows up and control back down. Now you might feel this work in your upper back, and that's okay. It actually needs the work. So hopefully you feel up around in between your shoulder blades and those muscles working and shortening a little bit. It's a good thing for them. Breathe in to lift. Not painful, but just a little bit of work. And slowly come down. We're just going to do a little bit of standing work to finish you off because I'm sure you've been sitting for a lot of the day. So we're just going to roll over onto our hands and knees. If you can, dig your toes under, give your feet a little bit of a stretch. They actually might like that. I'm going to stand up. We're going to lose my head for a moment, but I'm going to show you some calf raises and then I'll lift the screen back up. So just rock onto those feet and then we're standing up. Now, if you're like me and you've got a wall next to you, just place a hand on the wall just to give you a little bit of support. Feet are hip width apart. You're up nice and tall again. So your pelvis is on top of your feet, as are your ribs, shoulders and head. So you're a nice straight line. Take a breath in and now you're going to breathe out to press your feet into the floor to lift your heels and slowly lower back down. And breathe out to lift, feel light and floating through your whole body. And slowly lower back down. And breathe out to lift. How tall can you be? Feel like you leave your head on the ceiling as you slowly control the lower down. 2 more. And rise on up. Pause. Leave your head on the ceiling. Stay tall. And lower back down. Last one. And rise on up. Pause. And lower back down. I'm just going to lift it up. Great. As long as this feels comfortable on your own body. So now we're just going to finish off with a nice functional squat. It's how you get up and down from your chair every day. So you're going to sit your bottom backwards, reach your arms forward and pretend you're sitting down on a seat. And then stand back tall. And reach your bottom back. Reach your arms forward. Just bend the knees as far as you feel comfortable. You don't have to go as deep as I am, even if it's just to here. And stand back tall. And just to here. And stand back tall. But then if you're comfortable, challenge your range. Sit. Reach those arms and stand back tall. Let's make this one your last one. Sit. Reach. And stand back tall. Great. Now you stay standing. I'm just going to, actually I'll lift him up just a little bit more just to finish off. Good, so standing here, just some arm movement and breathing to finish off. So now we're going to breathe in to reach our breastbone up towards the ceiling again, swing our arms up, and breathe out to lower back down. And breathe in, reach, try and touch the wall sideways, try and touch the ceiling, reach your breastbone up so you get a high upper back extension, and breathe out to come home. 2 more, and breathe in and lift. And breathe out to come home. Last one, and breathe in to lift. And breathe out to come home. Nice work. Lovely. So hopefully you feel really lovely after that. Hopefully it's energized your body, stretched and mobilized all different parts of the body. So I've tried to cover all planes and ranges of movement. And hopefully mainly it's given you a little bit of a stress relief. So giving you a bit of a mental break so that you're ready to take on your day, ready to take on your study. As I said, just make sure you do what's comfortable for you in that series. Feel free to communicate with me if you've got any questions or if you need my assistance with anything at all. I wish you all the best, and I might see you on screen sometime soon. Thanks so much.